There's a quiet kind of struggle that doesn't show up on the surface. You go through your day, you answer messages, you laugh at the right moments, you get things done. From the outside, everything looks fine, but inside, something feels heavy. Not dramatic enough to explain, not obvious enough to name. Just always there. Have you ever felt that? You wake up already tired, even if you slept. Your mind starts scanning the day ahead, not for excitement, but for what might go wrong, what might drain you, what you'll need to endure. You tell yourself you're being realistic, responsible, mature, but underneath that practicality is a quiet tension you've been carrying for a long time. You don't talk about it much. Because how do you explain something that doesn't have a clear cause? Nothing terrible is happening, no obvious crisis. And yet your chest feels tight in calm moments. Silence makes you restless. Rest feels undeserved. You keep moving, not because you're driven, but because slowing down feels unsafe. And this is where it gets interesting. That quiet struggle isn't weakness, it's not overthinking. It's not you being too sensitive. It's a pattern your nervous system learned long before you had words for it. When you grew up, you may have learned that being alert was necessary, that staying aware kept you safe. Maybe emotions around you were unpredictable. Maybe love felt conditional. Maybe peace didn't last long enough to trust. So your body adapted. It learned to stay ready, ready to respond, ready to adjust, ready to survive. As an adult, that survival mode doesn't disappear just because your life looks stable now. Your body doesn't respond to logic. It responds to familiarity. And what's familiar to it is vigilance, tension, being on. So when things finally get quiet, instead of relief, you feel discomfort. Your thoughts get louder, your chest tightens. Your mind looks for problems to solve. Not because you enjoy suffering, but because calm feels unfamiliar and unfamiliar feels dangerous. You might notice this in small ways. You feel uneasy when someone is kind to you for no reason. You downplay compliments. You apologize even when you didn't do anything wrong. You struggle to fully relax around people who treat you well. There's always a part of you waiting for the catch. And over time, this creates internal loneliness that's hard to explain. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. Not because they don't care, but because you've learned to hide the parts of you that feel unsure, overwhelmed, or emotionally tired. You become very good at functioning, at being reliable, at being the one who listens, the one who holds it together. But inside, you're exhausted from holding yourself in all the time. Psychology calls this a form of emotional self-protection, often linked to attachment patterns formed early in life. When closeness once came with uncertainty, your system learned to keep distance internally, even when you're physically present. So you stay guarded, even with people you love. You keep parts of yourself unspoken. Not because you don't want connection, but because somewhere along the way, connection felt risky. But here's the thing. That quiet struggle you carry, it makes sense. Your nervous system did exactly what it needed to do to get you through. It kept you safe when safety wasn't guaranteed. The problem isn't that something is wrong with you. The problem is that your system hasn't yet learned that the threat is over. And this shows up not just emotionally, but physically, shallow breathing, tension in your shoulders, difficulty sleeping, feeling wired but tired, always thinking, even when you want rest. You may even feel guilty for feeling this way. You tell yourself you should be grateful, that others have it worse, that you're lucky. But guilt doesn't heal a nervous system. Understanding does. This struggle isn't about fixing yourself. It's about teaching your body something new, that stillness can be safe. That rest doesn't mean something bad is coming. That you don't have to earn peace by being productive or useful. And this takes time. Because your body learned these patterns over years, not overnight. Healing isn't dramatic. It's subtle. It happens in moments where you pause instead of pushing, where you notice tension and choose not to judge it, where you allow yourself to feel without immediately explaining it away. You start by naming what's happening. I'm not broken. I'm protecting myself. That shift alone creates space. You begin to notice when your mind jumps ahead, when it scans for danger, when it tightens during calm. And instead of fighting it, you gently bring yourself back. Back to your breath. Back to your body. Back to now. This is how safety is relearned. Not through force. Not through positive thinking. But through consistency. Through showing your nervous system, again and again, that nothing bad happens when you rest. Over time, the quiet struggle becomes quieter. Not gone, but softer, more manageable, less controlling. And one day, you realize something important. The part of you that's been tense all this time wasn't trying to ruin your life. It was trying to protect it. Here is the truth, and this is important to hear near the end. You are not behind. You are not failing at life. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are someone whose system learned to survive early and is now learning how to live. That quiet struggle inside you, it deserves compassion, not criticism. And the more you understand it, the less alone you feel carrying it. You don't need to push yourself harder. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to let your body learn that this moment is safe. And that learning begins right here,